Hi, my name is Mary Jo, and I'm the retail manager here at Steinbrink Landscaping and Greenhouses. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about perennials in the landscape. We're going to be featuring 6 must-have perennials for your landscape. And the ones we're featuring today are all proven winner varieties. They have been nominated by the Proven Winner Company, tried, true, tested. These are must-have plants that you would want to add to your landscape. The first one is a type of hibiscus. It's a perennial hibiscus that does great in central Nebraska. And this one is called cherry cheesecake. You can see it's a pretty large plant. It gets kind of tall, about that 4 to 5 foot tall. It has enormous dinner-sized plate blossoms on it, mid to late summer. So it's one of those plants that is simply to die for in the heat of the summer. It has a light pink flower on it with a dark pink eye, and it's one of those no-brainer plants. You plant it and forget it, and it takes care of itself. And it blooms when everything else is kind of on the downside. From the spring blossoms, it starts to come up and bloom for you. This is one that really kind of gets missed in the landscape. This is a type of Baptisia, and this Baptisia plant gets about that 4 foot tall, and it starts blooming. These just kind of got finished blooming, but on a normal in the landscape, it'll start blooming in June. And they have these tall yellow pinnacle flowers. This is a native plant. It's very hardy, very drought tolerant, and it forms a nice shrub in your landscape. So it gives you some substance, and even when it's not in bloom, it has really pretty gray-green foliage, and then it gets very interesting seed pods on it for a fall interest. Now we're going to talk about the purple plants in the landscape. These two here are nominated by the Proven Winner Society. This one in my right hand is a type of Nepeta called Cat's Meow. The other one in my left hand is a type of perennial lavender called Sweet Romance. Both of them have that beautiful gray-green foliage to them with the nice lavender blossoms. They both are very long bloomers. They have everything you'd want in a perennial. They're drought tolerant, they're deer tolerant, they're a no-mess, long blooming type of plant in the landscape. They both get about that 18 to 24 inches tall, and they bloom most of the summer. This next plant here is another plant that's kind of missed in the landscape. I have a lot of people ask, what is it? It's a type of evening primrose, and this one is called Lemondrops. Lemondrops has these bright yellow flowers all over them, and this one in particular does bloom during the day too. Most evening primroses start to open up in the latter part of the day or in the evening. But it gives you this really nice bright yellow, compact, bushy foliage. Again, this one is more of a front of the border plant. Loves the heat of the summer, very drought tolerant, kind of a missed perennial in our landscape, but it's worth planting, and it's very showy. The next plant I have here is a type of Monarda or bee balm. This plant is very fragrant. It's in the mint family, so if you touch the leaves, I think it smells like vanilla. It's very fragrant. Blooms in the summer. This one in particular has a round clustered blossom on it midsummer. It attracts hummingbirds and butterflies to the garden. Very long blooming, and it has kind of a cute little name to it. It's called Pardon My Purple, and it's a type of perennial bee balm, or Monarda is its name. If you have a shady area in your garden, I have some shade plants here that are sometimes missed. My first one here is the name of it is Bottle Rocket, and it loves the shade. It doesn't go dormant in the heat of the summer. It has really tall yellow spikes to it, midsummer long, and it's very showy in a shady area because it has that bright yellow blossom to it. And Bottle Rocket is a good one to use more towards the back of the border. It only gets about that 2.5 to 30 inches tall, but it has these great big, these leaves just get enormous or palm size, and so it has very interesting looking foliage, almost like kind of a dinosaur looking plant. But it's a really good one for the shade area, and it's the Ligularia Bottle Rocket. These next two plants here are some of my favorites. These are called Heuchera, or corabels is its common name. And the Heuchera has this really pretty either purple or red foliage. This one in particular is the Dolce Cinnamon Curls. And you can see that the new growth is a really deep red, and then it kind of does turn to a little bit of a cinnamon color, but it's always changing colors. And on the back side of the leaves, it has a really interesting purplish magenta pink color. It has ruffled foliage all over it. Again, this is the front of the border plant. It'll do fine in part shade to full shade, and it's a type of Heuchera. This is Dolce Cinnamon Curls. Now this one here has more of a purple color to it. It does have good veining in it. And this is another Dolce Heuchera. This one is called Blackberry Ice. And it really is the color of blackberries. And as the leaves mature, they kind of get a little bit of a silvery edge on it. And that's where it gets its name, the ice. But both of these Dolce brands of Heuchera, they've been bred to not melt in the heat of the summer, where some older varieties of Heuchera sometimes did. And we all know it gets hot in Nebraska in the summertime. So these are really worth trying in your landscape. For a shade plant is your tried and true hosta. Now this hosta in particular is called Goodness Gracious. And I really love it because in a dark shady area, the large leaves on this with the big wide golden edge will really stand out in a darker, shadier area. It'll really bring that pop of bright color. And I think it looks really nice mixed in with some of these purple foliages too. They play nicely off of each other. And then if you could imagine that Ligularia bottle rocket with the yellow blossoms blooming as well, it just gives you a nice mix. And it also helps to brighten up a shady area in your landscape. All of these perennials you see here, the proven winter varieties and hundreds of others, we grow here at Steinbrink's right on site. And we're offering them on sale this week and next week through June 15th, 20% off. I also have some specialty perennials that we ordered in, and they are blowing out the door, 3 for $15. So stop into Steinbrink's and we will help you plan your perennial landscape bed.